Hello and good morning, Facebook. I wanted to post something today on why so many businesses fail. And the statistics actually say that 95% never make it past a year. But why is that? Well, most people start a business because they absolutely love what they do and they're really, really good at what they do. So they go off and they form this little business, usually on their own, to sell whatever it is that they do. But the point is, as that business grows, as the market takes on board what they sell and that business starts growing, there comes a point where that business gets to a tipping point and things have to change. So what I wanted to talk a little bit about today is for people who have a business that is growing, because most businesses, and when I say most, you are looking at 95%, fail. And this is why. Scaling a business is very similar to shifting gears on a racing car, because as you move to greater speeds on a racing car, you have to shift gears. And similarly, as you go through the stages of growth of a business, so you have to change gears as well. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Now, the first two stages of growth are the areas that I focus in with clients and work with. Stage one is the startup stage. You have a small business. It's usually 1 to 5 staff. Your focus is on product development, getting your product accepted by the market, validating your business model, and marketing. The real thrust of stage one is marketing and getting your product sold. Generally, you can very easily work on that business on your own, and you don't need systems to do that. But it gets to a point where as you grow, what happens is that you need to start putting systems into your business. Because the more people that you bring on and the bigger your systems get, the harder it's going to be to manage. And this is where a lot of businesses run into cash flow problems as well, because they don't have systems in place. They also don't know how to manage their people. And believe me, when I speak to business owners, one of the biggest issues that they have, and one of the things they absolutely hate the most, is managing people. So your focus here is very different in this stage of growth. It's about hiring the right people. It's about shifting from the mentality of being a business owner to actually being a leader and managing your people. And the skills you have to develop are different. As a leader, you have to start learning how to delegate more. You have to start learning how to forecast more as well. And the decisions at this stage of the business are really about people and growth. But what you should be doing if you're entering this phase of the business is starting to systemize, because it becomes absolutely impossible to manage a business successfully and manage your cash flow and your people unless you put some systems in place, because you can't be everywhere at once. And what happens at this point is that business owners end up working 16-hour days. Many tell me they work harder with very little to show for it. They don't have a life anymore. Their health is starting to suffer. They never see their families. And quite frankly, that's not why they started the business in the first place. Most business owners, when I speak to them, say to me they started the business because of freedom. They wanted freedom. And this is exactly the opposite of what they're facing. So if your business is at this point and you're starting to grow and things are getting to a tipping point, what you need to do is you need to shift from being a business owner to a leader, and you have to look at putting some systems in place into your business. So what does that look like? Well, when I work with clients, and you can use whatever system suits you, whatever one you find that works for you, but generally what I do is I work on 90-day scorecards with my clients. So the system that I use is I teach them to assess their market on a continual basis, but they have to assess their market. Then they have to design their priorities in a 90-day scorecard, and that involves goals, measures, and targets, because what gets measured gets done, remember, around your marketplace, your workplace, and your people. So it's around your customer-centric issues, it's around the way you work, and what needs to be done in terms of your people. And that involves perhaps things like growing their skills. It could be a rewards program, it could be team issues, whatever the case may be. So that's the 90-day scorecard. I can send you a copy of what one looks like if you would like one. And then what happens is I teach them how to execute. So I like the 90-day sprints because the market changes so constantly that to me it doesn't make sense anymore to actually do a business plan. In fact, to be quite honest, a business plan these days is only useful if you're looking for venture capital. So whilst you have your vision and your big, hairy, audacious goal and you know where your business needs to be, you break that down into 90-day scorecards with 9 to 10 very concise goals that can be tracked and measured. And what you then do with a scorecard is you sit down with every staff member and you work out for them what each of those goals mean to them. Because what that does is creates engagement and it creates accountability. The more people know and the more you communicate to them that this is where the business needs to be going, this is the role that they play, the more that they understand your decisions as a leader as well. That's the system that I use. If you're welcome to, well, you're welcome to download my business success blueprint on my website if you like. But this is not about selling something. This is about me helping you as a business owner to realize that if your business is growing and you haven't changed some things in the way you manage your business, then something will probably have to change, because this is where things fall apart. This is where the wheels fall off. And this is why many business owners actually just give up. They shut their doors. It's too hard. They don't want to do it anymore. The final point that I wanted to make is the more systems you put in place in your business, the more you create a business that's independent of you. And what that means is that you can sell that business at the end of the day. You might not want to sell it, and I'm not saying you have to sell it or you should sell it, but what I'm saying is you want a business that you could take a vacation from. Because if you can't walk away from your business for a couple of weeks, your business isn't an asset, it's a job. So I hope you have a wonderful day. I hope this has sparked some thinking in you, and if it has and you'd like to ask any questions, feel free to. Otherwise, have a wonderful day. Take care, Facebook.